The big news of the week outside of what happened with the Tuesday night game was actually news that happened Tuesday night and then kind of wrapped up on Thursday. Le'Veon Bell, released by the Jets, took him 48 hours, now found work with the Kansas City Chiefs. Reports say he was down to the Bills, Dolphins, and Chiefs for work. Then it was down to the Dolphins and Chiefs, according to The Athletic, and now he goes to Kansas City. And people like myself, who have been touting Clyde Edwards-Helaire all season long, now a little bit shaken by this news with Le'Veon Bell going to KC.
Yeah, I think there's some good to come out of it is for Edwards-Helaire, perhaps we don't have to worry about him getting burned up early. Something Jason Smith and I talked to Jay Glazer about a little bit in terms of the creativity of what Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy can do. Edwards-Helaire, I think you can agree, Dan, watching as much of the games as we do, that his patience was lacking at times, right, in terms of letting the offensive line set and do their work. That's pretty much what Le'Veon Bell has made his career on, right, of when he was in Pittsburgh, waiting that extra half second. All right, now I've got to crease and go. So perhaps there's a rejuvenation that can happen there. And you're away from Adam Gase, who hated you. So that certainly is going to help there. The other, Sammy Watkins got hurt. Not going to IR, but maybe Bell is used a little bit as a wide receiver. Throw him in the slot, throw him on the outside.
Sure.
He's a guy that has, caught 60 or more balls pretty much every year of his NFL career. So while it may not happen immediately, I think there's dividends. Edwards-Helaire takes a hit short term, but I think it keeps him viable later on in the season instead of the proverbial rookie wall.
Here's the only thing that I will say to that, and this is what concerned me. When you look at the Chiefs and where they're running the ball, really Clyde was the only one that was a legitimate running threat for that team. He was the only one that was going to carry the football. Well, they're coming off a loss to the Raiders where he ran the ball 10 times. And we talked about it on Tuesday about them not committing to the run. You had him have 25 carries in the first week against Houston where he broke out, had that 138-yard game and a touchdown, and he's had one game where he's had 20 carries since. 16, 10, and 10 were the totals of carries. And the only thing that I'm bringing up on a fantasy portion of this for someone that was high on him is now you bring Le'Veon Bell in, and you could say that you're saving him. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty late in the season, if you're battling, trying to get that number one seed, which now we think, maybe teams aren't going to be punting away for the last couple of weeks because there's only going to be one bye. Now are you saying, all right, well, let's put Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the rookie, in? Are you going to be like, let's go with the veteran Le'Veon Bell, who isn't necessarily as familiar with our system, but you have the rookie who may know just a little bit more? Those are the questions that I have with Kansas City. I can understand you ended up needing to, your backfield was short when Damian Williams didn't return for the season, but now you're sitting there saying, all right, let's, what do you do with CEH? And that's as a CEH player, I'm like, all right, now Le'Veon Bell's going to be taking some snaps from him when I don't think Kansas City necessarily committed to him the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, so long as we're in double-digit touches, which is I think where he's going to stay, it's just going to shift a little bit, is that all right, now he's an RB2, and maybe you're salty if you drafted him in the first round. But you know what? You're in week 6.
Yes.
But you're in week 6. You can't worry about that anymore. Right? I mean, that's look, it's sunk cost, man. It's an economic principle that I'll do on another podcast. You paid what you paid for him, and now it's the idea of, all right, how is he best utilized? I'm nervous that Bell becomes the goal line guy. That certainly is something that you have to fear here. He's a better blocker when it comes to pass protections, right? He's a veteran. And he gets it, right? The chips and everything else. Edwards-Helaire and most rookie running backs, that's not their forte. It's going to take him some time to get there. So, yeah, he's going to lose some snaps. But I don't lose hope because you still have that game-changing speed. And I think maybe that change of pace will be beneficial. So don't give up hope here, Dan. I know hope's a dangerous thing, but
well, there'd be no point in trading him because his value is low right now anyway. So you might as well hold on to him. And we honestly don't know how much Le'Veon Bell can be healthy. So there's going to be that question as well. And honestly, who knows how it could play out. It wasn't a good day for those who had Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a running back. And the same would have been said for anybody who had Devin Singletary or Zach Moss with the Bills or Myles Gaskin with the Dolphins, but CEH went higher than all of those other backfields, so it ends up affecting him more. But go ahead.
Well, it's just kind of funny. The next couple of weeks, Le'Veon Bell plays all those teams that he was going to be part of, including the Jets. So it'll be fun to watch.
I'm sure he will get a few treats from Andy Reid against his former team. Speaking of treats,